issues new COVID guidelines for 30 days. 3 imam markets and temporary market allowed to open. Bus services to resume with 50% seat capacity. Chief Minister Nongthum Bombiren inaugurates several projects and lays foundations for new ones in Tamenglong and Nonne districts despite objection to Go to Hills 2.0 mission. Chief Minister's Police Medal for Gallantry awardee Lady Police Officer Thongnawjam Brinda MPS to announce whether to contest in upcoming election or not next month. United Committee Manipur asked those concerned to give up the idea of 2 separate governments, one in hills and another in valley of Manipur. Manipur reports 171 new COVID-19 cases, 130 recoveries and 1 death in last 24 hours. COVID positivity rate stands at 4.82%. And India adds 26,964 fresh COVID-19 cases, 34,167 recoveries and 383 deaths in 24 hours. Recovery rate stands at 97.77%. Hello and welcome to Impact News. You're watching Primetime English Bulletin. I'm Joyshree Usham. To stay protected from coronavirus, wash your hands frequently, wear your mask properly and maintain a safe distance. Now the news in details. Manipur government has issued new COVID guidelines for 30 days in view of the improving situation of COVID-19 pandemic. State government issued an order dated September 21st to reopen the 3 imam markets and temporary market in Paungna Bazar and Thangal Bazar in Imphal, while daily night curfew will be imposed from 8:30 p.m. till 4 a.m. with effect from today. A notification signed by Chairman of State Executive Committee, Government of Manipur, Dr. Rajesh Kumar, informs that markets may reopen with 50% capacity by strictly adhering to COVID-19 SOPs. Restaurants and cafes are allowed to open from 10 a.m. till 8 p.m., ensuring that customers' intake do not exceed 50%. Banks, postal services and insurance offices may function normally, and public transport buses are allowed to ply on roads not exceeding 50% intake capacity of passengers. However, government has strictly prohibited social gatherings and feasts. Chief Minister Nongthum Bombiren has inaugurated several developmental projects in Tamenglong and Nonne districts. Though Go to Hill 2.0 mission was objected by tribal bodies, and Biren took a chopper ride and landed in Tamenglong District Hospital at 9:30 a.m. today. The Chief Minister inaugurated oxygen plant, additional 50-bedded hospital and Tamenglong Natural Football Ground at Tamenglong District Headquarters. Altogether, crores of rupees worth 32 projects were inaugurated virtually for Tamenglong and Nonne district, out of which 28 are completed projects and the remaining 4 are new projects. Newly inaugurated projects included Tamai PSA oxygen plant of 500 LMP capacity, Nungba PSA oxygen plant of 250 LPM capacity, 5 suspension bridges, 4 school buildings, 4 solar power plants, district transport office, teacher and doctors' quarters, including transit accommodations. Speaking on the occasion, Chief Minister N. Biren said that the main purpose of his visit is to facilitate basic amenities like safe drinking water, health care and road connectivity to the remote dwellers. District Administration of Tamenglong, Nonne and Joint Tribal Council organized the program titled a Community Outreach Program of the Government of Manipur to take governance closer to the Hill District at Natural Football Ground, Tamenglong District Headquarters. Works Minister T.H. Biswajit, Education Minister Sorakaibam Rajan, Agriculture Minister O. Lukhoi and Forest Minister Awangba Nyumai and MLAs attended the event. It may be mentioned that today's event was held in gross violation of yesterday's order issued by Manipur Chief Secretary prohibiting social gatherings in view of COVID-19 pandemic.
Government mission sing sakon anba hungang sakon anba Manipur da leba praja punu sakon anba ya maru ina singi ara jaga sing da praja sing wana leba oxygen hangdabagi operation theater latabagi doctor latabagi bed latabagi adu sanabung latabagi madu mayam sing thangdabagi latabagi madu mayam do fulfill dawna last ki 4.5 years of government china just we have done lot. Adugi people's reaction, people support. I really appreciate the people of Tamil Nadu and Nonetheless.
Chief Minister Nongthumam Biren also announced that government has selected Tamenglong district for developing Health Well Center, where all the health center will be provided with 24/7 power uninterrupted by means of solar, so that in case of any emergency related health issue can be performed without any hindrances. He also announced that the shortest route from Tamenglong to Tingau railway station will be constructed at the earliest, and under the Backward Development Fund, 5 crore rupees has been sanctioned for developing the Zime tribe of Tamenglong district. During his Tamenglong visit, the Chief Minister and his colleagues also distributed various materials, machineries, CMHT cards, fingerlings, smartphones to college students, handloom, manual machines to 1,182 selected beneficiaries under various schemes of horticulture, agriculture, tribal affairs, fishery, social welfare, and from health department.
Sorsanpur ne, Sandel ne, Tamenglong ne. High district of Homestead Health Well Center at the PSC Makadalapa, Sumnagi dispensary type, Adudaki Hoga, district hospital water center Mayam se 24/7 solar power na cover torkada 24/7 May Lakana scheme by packet Pahore, Adana by February Bobby Manunda, Lady Health Center Punamata. High diversity solar power की lighting system जलानी अगर नंदांगा वगैरह अहिंगा वगैरह operation दरकार नहीं करा delivery दरकार नहीं करा मतलब प्रजा मायंदा हुआ को नहीं रो ये है बच्चे मायंदा लाउटोक से रंगे
Lady Police Officer Thaunawjam Brinda MPS today category told Impact News that she will make a public announcement on whether she will contest in the upcoming 12th Manipur Legislative Assembly election 2022 or not next month. Amid the recent media circulation claiming that T.H. Brinda will contest the upcoming election from Yai School Assembly constituency, the lady police officer who had made headlines with regards to Lukhoseizo drug case told Impact News in a telephonic conversation that she will make a public announcement on the matter in October. She is yet to resign from service. It may be mentioned that Thaunawjam Brinda, who in 2018 was conferred with Chief Minister's Police Medal for Gallantry as a part of the state government's war against drugs, returned her award after a special court in Imphal acquitted 7 people who were arrested in a 2018 drugs case. She was the first officer from the state's Narcotics and Affairs of Border Bureau to be granted a state gallantry award. United Committee Manipur UCM has asked those concerned to give up the idea of creating 2 separate governments, one in the hills and another in Valley of Manipur. Speaking on the sidelines of Langbal Tarpan offerings at Kekrupat today, UCM President Konthaujam Joy Chandra made a statement. He reminded that 18 people lost their lives in the mass protest against the Bangkok Agreement signed between the Government of India and the NSA and IM on June 14, 2001 against inclusion of the clause without territorial limit. Reminding that the Bangkok Agreement led to a public uproar in the state, Joy Chandra made a clarion call to everyone to figure out the real reasons behind slow pace of development in hill districts of Manipur.
Manipur के अपन बसक्तम कायबे यारोय Manipur दा लेंगाक अनि सोनबे यारोय हैबा वफम से अखोइना यूनाइटेड कमिटी Manipur ना लाउरग लाई कनागुंबा इसिल इनाव खरना अखोइ Manipur लेंगाक लेना चिंगी ओइबा लेंगाक अमा सेंगबने हैबा वाखलोन असे खुदकता थादोकपियो हैना यूनाइटेड कमिटी Manipur दगी अपील तौजरी नुंसी चानना लेरिबो फुरुपसिंग असे थुगाइनबा सिनबा madu tobiganu Manipur gi hauji hujik sayen nariba border gi matang fencing gi waigara haibase aikoi amata oina punchalaga aikoi mayong na ba mathau tai hai Manipur sida chingi isil inok singna makhoi gi development da walore natraga makhoi gi development tawde haiba ase makhul ahob amal lairiba se aikoi punna thidok mention ba mathau tai.
Khongjom War Memorial Trust observed 28 Khongjom Tarpon Numit at Khongjom War Memorial Complex in Khebaching today. Attendees paid tribute to portraits of war heroes who fought in the Anglo-Manipur War of 1891. They also offered Tarpon at Khongjom River. Taking part in the event, former Minister cum Trust President Morangthim Hemanta said they have been observing the day since 1994. He opined that the patriotic fervor and commitment of the forefathers to motherland should be a source of inspiration to current state political leaders. He appealed to the relevant authorities to revamp the Khongjom War Memorial Complex.
Masigi mongpham sida chai khudi akhoi appeal tawrabani kariguma maphangi mongpham masida akhoi asugumba mandi sabigano na adu akhoi tarpon ka phangi manak sidaida ishorgi mandir ama sajan baje masina akhoi gi wahan tok haibadi mongpham gi paipu gi hikal ekat damba sigi mangthopoina hoibani adu mase akhoi hairi bani aduna chai khudi gi amu tholakpa khongjom de gumba khongjom tarpon gumba da nisang manatra masi mapu padabugum leiri kanana so khoi ngak sende masida ida hajaraba building mam lei adu masigi mafam masida illegal soiba adigi mayam लाइब सिंगसिदा कोई अदुम पैसा कलेक्शन तबुई तसेंबदी भारत की वांगमदी लाख पमीना मसी यंगजे मतमदा मसी टूरिस्ट की मसीबु गाइड पिना कडांगमम तले.
President of Republican Party of India RPI Atawale Manipur State Committee Maheshwar Thaunarjam led his team in offering Langban Haita Leithaba at Nambul River this morning. Party officials, leaders of Women Wing, paid tribute to ancestors. Speaking to media, Maheshwar Thaunarjam said they made the offerings in homage to belated leaders of the constituency and prayed for good fortune in all his endeavors to bring welfare in the constituency.
Kaisamthong Kendra Manungsida Layoi Kraba Atauba Atubi Singidamata Ringasi Langbangi Haishoi Katpa Numisida Ehakna Ngamjaba Kara Haikat Like Tambagi Shori Mafamda Layoi Kraba Singi Mafamda Tamjabani Ngasi Kaisamthong Kendra Gidam Luchin Puren Obiramba Atauba Atubi Singna Kaisamthong Kendra Gita Wazaramba Ningjiramba Manglan Mayamama Tobiramba Mayamama Adu the Watloba Singdo Pachamo in a Mashumo in a Ehakna Makasa Tarapoina Ngamjaba Ojageko Hana Boni Jabagaloina Mangal Nijabagaloina Ngasi Langbangi Haishoi Katpa Numisida Ekaisamthong Kendra Gioina Atauba Atubi Singidamakta and Haikat Like Tamjabagi Toramang Tokjaban.
President of Committee of Civil Societies Kangleipak CCSK Jitendra Ningomba said CCSK will organize this 6th public meeting on the historic commencement of the first Manipur Legislative Assembly on October 18. Speaking to media at CCSK office in Chekon, Imphal today, Jitendra said CCSK has been observing the day in commemoration of the first State Assembly session of pre-merger period held on October 18, 1948. He says 2022 is an important year considering the upcoming state general election. He called for sincere efforts from the general public, politicians and aspiring candidates for a free, fair and successful conduction of the election.
Manipur na ningkha tamoba phangaba matungda ihan hanbu oina Manipur gi constitution sema ba matungda khoi gi leibak sing ngak na nabog dongda mikhal tawraga mikhal da mai paklik pa mayam sing aduna ihan han assemble tawkiba adugu numitune ba 18 October 1948 che masida leibak ngak gi bahar punamak adu siniki bu numini haidare aduna masiga mari lenena hoje ekoi mangda taduna leiba election sida karamba makhal gi political party da karamba makhal gi misakta Manipur da leiba miyam sing sina vote thadaga dege mit khanga dege haibasiga mari leina ba interlink oina sinjaba program ni hairibu numit asi amna maroibu numit ama khanadaba yadaba numit amani an khanbirega tingbang birkini haibagi thajubusu Manipur miyang bempomda pojel si chachei.
Shillong Manipuri Students Union has organized a one-day open discussion on Manipur merger agreement, question of nationality and identity of the people of Manipur, present and future status of Manipur House, Redland, Shillong, at Manipur House in Shillong. Manipur was once an autonomous state and merged with the Indian Dominion on September 21, 1949. The then King of Manipur, Maharaj Bodhachandra, who had signed the merger agreement, was held under house arrest in Shillong. Taking part in the event held yesterday, UCM advisor L. Jadumani expressed concerns over the integrity of Manipur. He termed nation politics as a threat to the integrity of Manipur. Jadumani said more than 500 states, including Manipur, was made to sign the merger agreement to form the Indian Union, out of which only Manipur and Kashmir have stood against the merge. He condemned the appointment of titular King Leshemba Sanajauba as MP as a disregard to the cultural value of Manipur. Attendees also discussed the condition of the Manipur House in Shillong, which was once known as the Raj Bari. Representatives of AMSU, Desam, KSA, AIMS and all Assam Manipuri Students Union attended the event.
Manipuri sing ang matan da mugna kibra pare ining thawdo nampu da tawkre mayang question laga tawkre asara pa na question laga tawkre okay adu torsuna adu matan da Manipuri sing na madu ekoi yade hadna koi mugna kibra masine ekoi itihas da oba tanja mula kadur ana sahi taret khunta padagina 1949 gi pose swai da yeng matan da ekoi na 1949 gi matung sida di itihas gi isial da Manipuri sing gi mating sia nakal ani thukna chele da kun nei na pi.
Democratic Students Alliance of Manipur Desam has demanded unconditional release of the arrested 5 Desam members and 2 teachers in connection with yesterday's scuffle over the principal of Naurem Birahari College unconditionally. Speaking to Desam office at Kwakitil today, Desam Secretary General Leshangtem Lamyan said academic atmosphere of the college has been hampered over the tussle between the college principal and teachers. Hence, a meeting was called at Desam office for a dialogue. However, college principal Ningombam Sitaljit tried to leave the meeting, upon which Desam members stopped him. He alleged that the college principal raised hands on the Desam members, upon which they retaliated in self-defense. Lamyanba condemned Shitaljit's wife for claiming on media that Desam members assaulted the principal.
Desamna oza kauraga phure haiduna lana aikogi miyam da pauthokpa haibase masidi achauba huranba mana maral kupsanna bo hotnarakpa matamda sathaba achauba conspiracy amakhakni haiduna so aikoina laujai narang maktada media gi kuthangda hairiba dugumba Desam no oza phure oza simu kauraga kupangna thare hairiba potu masa sungyaw yawdaba sungu udaba meeting aduda kari no kari wari hainari kari khanari sungkang khangdaba miyoi kharana mapandagi paba changa kanda oza da khut thare oza phure haiduna hekta miyam da pauthokpagi thodo sir masidi khwaidagi hena sathina laibak thiba makhakni.
Residents of Lilong, Athoukong have condemned that some narrow-minded people are trying to take political mileage by spreading rumors on social media over the mini dam at Lilong, Athoukong, Kok Makong. They appealed to all those concerned not to repeat such act again, since the residents and farmers in the area already get a benefit from the mini dam, which is yet to be completed. They added that construction of the mini dam started under Chief Minister Nongthombam Biren's initiative upon the request of the local MLA Yumkhaibam Antas Khan and local civil bodies. Speaking to media at Lilong Athoukong today, a resident of the area, Sheikh Giyasuddin said none of the previous MLAs of Lilong Assembly constituency took effort to construct a dam in the area, upon which foundation stones for the construction of the mini dam and Lilong Imam Market at Lilong Athoukong were laid on December 28, 2018 under the Chief Minister's initiative. Sheikh Giyasuddin said the local MLA spent money from his own pocket for the mini dam construction, and 80% of the dam is almost completed to irrigate 1,200 fields in Ngangou Lokon. Sheikh Giyasuddin termed that netizens criticizing the local MLA and workers on media on the ongoing dam construction as unfortunate. Meanwhile, Lilong MLA Y. Antas Khan said arrangements are underway to inaugurate the mini dam by October or November this year, stating that PHED Department Chief Engineer and EE have been already approached for timely construction of the dam. He appeals to Lilong residents to halt their protest.
50 years surabani sabida dana lairibse adu hanak whenever siamna pibi rakna damasi jam phajana sadana praja sing asi jam harauri nanglo kon lo pari lising ama chani chahum leiba si amak lupa amak kangba sumena tawdana lakpasina hanaki chahi anium sidi damasi sarak padagi lo basi yamna phajana una dana lokna dana leiraklaba matam masida dam lo sinbidre adu lo sinbidre haibadu di chumi lo sinana basu ikoi whenever memeli dai koi wakachari athuba matamda lo silagane su takpi rei befar yaudaba ahal sing da sijinaba wai sing asidi koina kandem tawfam thoi raniti sanadana semjin sajin laga ngangba sidi aikoi jamla pende asungmlaba thogdoga si amana tawdanaba haibiu.
Cookie Chiefs Association Technopol has called 24 hours band on Imphal Moray Road from September 27 midnight against the alleged frequent changing of Technopol District DC. Manipur reported 171 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 out of 3,544 samples tested in the last 24 hours. Today's COVID positivity rate stands at 4.82%. As per the latest report from State Health Department and COVID-19 Command Control Room, total confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Manipur have reached 1,19,041, out of which active cases are 2,214. One COVID patient from Imphal West District died in the past 24 hours, rising the death toll to 1,836. On the positive note, 130 recoveries were reported in the past 24 hours, rising the total recovered cases to 1,14,991. Manipur's recovery rate stands at 96.60%. President of Manipur Pradesh Congress Committee MPCC cum Nambol MLA N. Loken has demanded the state government to release daily wages of COVID task force workers at the earliest. N. Loken was speaking at a closing event of Community Home Isolation Center set up at SK Women College Nambol for COVID patients in Nambol Assembly Constituency. The CHIC was opened for 134 days. Management Subcommittee Nambol AC Community Home Isolation Center organized the valedictory event at the indoor hall of SK Women College. N. Loken expressed concern that in future no volunteers will come forward to render service for COVID management if government fails to clear their pending wages. Gifts were presented to COVID task force workers on the occasion. SDO Nambol Kheda Manda Potsangbam, CMO Bishtapur, Dr. Ganeshwar, Medical Officer of Nambol Community Health Center, Dr. N. Robinson, Principal of SK Women College, Dr. W. Robindro, and former inmates of the Community Home Isolation Center took part in the program.
सरकार अखोगी अतई अतई लंबेल की कोयला साबगी नत्रगना थोंग साबगी अदोमदा अदुगी ओइदा पीदबदि कायदे अदुबु सिगुंबा कोविड की सीबा याबा सिगुंबदा थेंगदिबा कोविड टास्क फोर्स की पैसादा सुमाइना थादोक्तबा हाइबसिदि मसिदि अई तुंगदा अखोगी सरकार सिगि जो अफब मांगोल ओरकदबा मांगे इसोरनसु यागदबा मांगे अदुना मरम ओरकादा सिगुंबा ऑनरेबल सीएम नसु लाउथोक्रबनिना कोविड टास्क फोर्स सिंग द पीन नकिबा लाउथोकबा सेंफम मतुमति अई मदु अथु सरकार थादो मीडिया की कुथांदा सरकार अपील तौजगे.
Now it's time for a small commercial break. After the break, we bring you updates on coronavirus cases in India and the world. Keep watching Impact News.
Hello viewers, Impact Music on Demand da selfie video request khanbirakpa matamda adomna selfie video record tawbiraga apamba isai sing adu khanbiyu aduga aikhoina pizariba WhatsApp number asida soidana thabirau. Impact Music on Demand every Saturday 6:30 PM only on Impact Music HD and SD channel.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching Primetime English Bulletin. India added 26,964 fresh COVID-19 cases, 34,167 recoveries and 383 deaths in the past 24 hours. As per the latest report of the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, India's COVID-19 active cases are 3,01,989. Total recovered cases are 3,27,83,741 and recovery rate stands at 97.77%, while death toll has reached 4,45,768. COVID-19 vaccine has been administered to more than 82 crore 65 lakh people in India so far. Globally, coronavirus has infected above 23 crore 4 lakh 18,000 people. Above 47 lakh 24,000 people have died and recoveries are above 20 crore 71 lakh 69,000. USA has the highest active cases of above 97 lakh 16,000 in the world, followed by India and Brazil. Department of Radiation Oncology, Regional Institute of Medical Sciences, RIMS, Imphal observed World Rose Day today at the Conference Hall of Radiation Oncology, RIMS. RIMS Director Professor A. Shanta, RIMS MS Professor Nepram Sanjeev and Head of RIMS Radiation Oncology Department, Dr. T. Daneshwar graced the event. Speaking on the occasion, Professor A. Shanta said World Rose Day aims at bringing happiness and hope into the lives of cancer patients and reminding them that they can emerge victorious in their battle against cancer through determination and positivity. He also thanked Prime Minister Narendra Modi for initiating various schemes for cancer patients. Fruits and edible items were distributed to cancer patients admitted in the hospital. BJP OBC Morcha Manipur Pradesh also distributed fruits and sweets to cancer patients as a part of Seva or Samarpan Abhiyan on the occasion. High Court of Manipur has given interim direction to Social Welfare Department to ensure household wherein transgender person is the main bread earner or a simple member of the family get the benefit of social welfare schemes in the name of the household, even if the applications were submitted after the deadline of 7th August 2021. The High Court passed the order following a PIL filed in the court by T.H. Shanta Singh alias Shanta Kurai against the state government seeking to allow eligible transgender people to avail schemes under the Social Welfare Department. The state government on July 13, 2021 modified a notification by the department wherein household with transgender person as main bread earner or simple family member were made eligible for the benefit of the scheme in the name of the household. However, last date of the notification, which was August 7, 2021, has not been extended to enable eligible transgender persons to put their application for appropriate benefits. The High Court of Manipur has also directed the departments to submit their counter affidavit or in position before November 9, 2021. NPP Manipur State Unit Working President and Kashamtong MLA L. Jentakumar has stated that no political party will gain absolute majority in the upcoming 12th Manipur Legislative Assembly election. He said BJP, NPP, Congress and NPF will continue taking major role in government formation. The MLA was speaking at the fourth distribution of labor cards to beneficiaries at his Pishumtong residence today. MLA L. Jentakumar said election is still around 6 months away, but intending candidates of Kashamtong Assembly constituency are gearing up as if the election will be conducted in a couple of days. MLA Jentakumar said that NPP is not forming any pre-poll alliance with any political party. The MLA and Kashamtong Ward number 12 Corporator Potsangbam Premila distributed labor cards to 192 beneficiaries today.
Agi Kendra Macha Kasham Kendra Dapena, known Torba Gambushing Yawnina, Hokito Hona election, Horobin Nambuaneva, Atoba Kendra, the young Ahinakanatong, Mataba Mayam Yauriaduna, election and Habishin Kasham Kendra Katanataba, Manipur is a whole material collector, Katomakal Ponina, Hanelova, decision to Madi, Lepri and Habitat, Agi level, Natakana, local president level, and national president level, Hondoki, and actually around 30 to 35. Candidate who took Shira and Hibagi, tentative in other delivery. Finally, absolute majority from the party, the Yawato Mande, Atanamayam, individual's opinion, Pinabla, at an based on that when filled over the same. When absolute majority, the BJP or Congress or MPP or from the VI, single largest majority, Amazon Mark Pumbia, Matal Party, and I know how to Matam with the Gospel Alliance, Matulakani Habitat.
Konthaujam MLA Dr. Sapam Ranjan today distributed hearing aid to hearing-impaired senior citizens of the constituency under Assistance to Disabled Persons for Purchase ADIP scheme of the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Aliyavar Young National Institute of Speech and Hearing Disabilities and Development Society jointly organized the event at the local MLA's residence. Around 200 senior citizens of the constituency availed the benefits.
Poverty Development Society Tungsida Tsinaraga Aliyavar Young National Institute of Speech and Hearing Disability da Ministry of Social Justice ki makhada Government of India ki makhada koi kendra ki manungda leiba tabada sotharaba mioi singda koi ngasi hearing aid distribution ki program ni si to derisi approximately 200 to 250 beneficiaries approximately at the minor within the
Lamsang MLA cum Education and Fishery Minister Sorakhaibam Rajan's election campaign kicked off today. BJP Lamsang Mandal carried out the campaign from polling booth 17/1 till 17/40 of the constituency. Three-day online orientation training on child-centric disaster risk reduction kicked off today. Department of Teacher Education organized the program along with Child-Centric Disaster Risk Reduction Center, National Institute of Disaster Management, Government of India. Vice-Chancellor of Manipur University, Professor N. Lokendra, attended the inaugural event. Experts from various states will hold brainstorming session on child-centric disaster risk reduction. District Administration Thoubal conducted one-day discussion on mental health, psychological support related to crime against women and role of one-stop center at the election counting hall of DC complex Thoubal today. State Nodal Officer of State Mental Health Program Dr. Athokpam Ranita gave resourceful insights on the topic. Rural Voluntary Services Wangbal Secretary Babita Sapam stressed on the role of NGOs in women empowerment. Thoubal Zira Parishad Adhyaksha Hasina Begum, Thoubal DC Rangnamai Rangpeter, Thoubal SP Jogesh Chandra Hawijam and women activists participated in the event. Week-long workshop on training and learning with module, hands-on training for teachers, kicked off today at the conference hall of Thoubal College. Internal Quality Assurance Cell, IQAC Thoubal College, organized the workshop. Thoubal College Principal O. Chauba, IQAC Thoubal College Coordinator and the College Associate Professor Dr. K.H. Jugindro and Associate Dean of Indian Statistical Institute, New Delhi, cum Mathematics Professor Shanta Laisham graced the event. Resource persons stressed on the concept of login to module, introduction of module layout and create new course basic at the program. Former State Minister and Thoubal MLA Leitantem Tomba Elias E.O. Tomba passed away today at his residence in Thoubal Bazaar. He was 88. El Tomba served as an MLA of Thoubal Assembly Constituency for 4 terms and also served as the Minister of Sericulture, Labour and Employment, Social Welfare and Education during his lifetime. He worked as an extension officer of the Manipur government before joining politics. His final rites were performed today. People in Thoubal constituency paid homage to the late leader. Election Committee of BJP intending candidate of Thoubal Assembly Constituency, Konzam Michael, condoles the demise of former Thoubal MLA and former Minister Leitantem Tomba. The Election Committee held a condolence meet today at Michael's residence near Thoubal Mela ground. Attendees observed 2-minute silence as a mark of respect to the departed leader. Naharol Khongthang Artists Association, popularly known as Chak Thekpi Party, condoled the demise of its former member Kumbong Naba, best known as Naba Chak Thekpi. An educational center for Huyen Lalon Thangta was opened at the shrine of Iputhau Kuman Pakhangba Kuman Yangbi Sabal in Mayang Imphal today. Yaipilen Sitaba Mapugi Loop Loy under the aegis of Apunba Manipur Huyen Lalong Loop opened the center with an aim to teach Thangta as well as nurture and save youths from intoxicants. Adrian Pratt has assumed the position of the director of the American Center, Kolkata, and the public affairs officer of the United States Consulate General in Kolkata as of September 20, 2021, succeeding former director and PAO, Monica Shi. He came to Kolkata after serving 2 year tours as public affairs officer in Erbil, Iraq. Prior tours include The Hague, New Delhi, and Wellington, New Zealand. Before joining the U.S. State Department, Adrian worked for 20 years in newspapers as reporter, editor, and publisher. His family spent about 6 years in Bangalore in the 1980s, where his father worked for Madurai Courts. He is married to Amy, who will be the new community liaison officer at the U.S. Consulate General, Kolkata. They have 2 grown children, Morgan 25 and Ivan 21. Government has decided to appoint Air Marshal V.R. Chaudhary, presently Vice Chief of Air Staff, as the next Chief of Indian Air Force. He will assume charge after the retirement of Air Chief Marshal Rakesh Kumar Singh Bhaduria on September 30. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami has announced to provide free textbooks to students of class 9 to 12 from next year. He also directed Education Department officials to prepare a proposal for distribution of bicycles to class 9 girls of the plain area. The Chief Minister also ordered to provide scholarships to 100 toppers students of class 12 for the preparation of higher education for the next 5 years. Focusing on the computer and English education to the students, the Uttarakhand Chief Minister instructed officials to arrange guest teachers in government schools for the same. Union Minister Sarbananda Sonowal has submitted his nomination paper for the Rajya Sabha seat from Assam. Accompanied by Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma and other senior leaders, Sonowal filed his nomination paper in Guwahati. Polling will be held on October 4th. He is likely to be elected to the Rajya Sabha unopposed. Now, before we end, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Manipur government issues new COVID guidelines for 30 days. 3 Ima markets and temporary market allowed to open, bus services to resume with 50% seat capacity. Chief Minister Nongthong Bambiren inaugurates several projects and lays foundation for new ones in Tamenglong and Nonne districts despite objection to Go to Hill 2.0 mission. Chief Minister's Police Medal for Gallantry awardee Lady Police Officer Thaunojam Brinda MPS to announce whether to contest in the upcoming election or not next month. United Committee Manipur asked those concerned to give up the idea of 2 separate governments, one in hills and another in valley of Manipur. Manipur reports 171 new COVID-19 cases, 130 recoveries and 1 death in last 24 hours. COVID positivity rate stands at 4.82%. And India adds 26,964 fresh COVID-19 cases, 34,167 recoveries and 383 deaths in 24 hours. Recovery rate stands at 97.77%. That's all we have for this bulletin. Thank you for being with us. Coming up next is Primetime Manipuri Bulletin. For more news, you can also follow Impact TV on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube. Have a great evening and stay safe.
Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute.